All right, what were you saying? What was the question? I'll load a bowl here.
Uh,
I can't remember.
damn it.
Kobolds, magic.
I was saying I'd take a look at the classes from like the Draconomicon. Pretty sure there's
Oh,
something that'll fit.
the Draconomicon.
Yes,
What the fuck is that?
it's a complete D&D source book, like about the size of the Complete Arcane, Complete Whatever series, but it's all about dragon magic, some
Oh
dragon,
my
there's
gosh.
dragon classes. Uh, it's not super complex from what I've looked through them a little bit before, but it's pretty similar to how a sorcerer will work.
Did
I,
I mention Stuart is 100 years old and TK
oh,
treated him like he was fucking 10?
I
TK
didn't
never,
know
Rawl
kobolds lived to
never,
be 100 years old.
yeah, anywhere from like 140 to 300, depending on how pure their blood is. Stewie's
Jesus,
blood's
really?
very, very pure. Stewie's one of the purest he ever knew. He never knew he was this special. His blood's about to be unlocked. Yeah, he's only like a third of his life, but he's 100 years old. He didn't get treated well by Roll, and TK was specific to say that. Little shit, just treated him like bad, poorly. Um, let's see, classes in Draconomicon is in the D&D tools. It has a list of the classes.
Mm.
Blood-scaled Fury, Disciple of something. I need glasses for reading. Dispassionate Watcher, Dracolite, Dragon Ascendant, Kith, Dragon Rider, Dragon Slayer, Dragon Song, Dragon Stalker, Elemental Master, Hide Carved, Horde Stealer, Initiate of the Draconic Mysteries. That sounds nice. Platinum Knight. Holy. There's some interesting things. What would you suggest out of all those?
I've honestly got no clue what each of the classes actually do. Although, definitely not the Silver Knight or whatever, just because that's a pre-existing class. I think uh, very religiously oriented around Bahamut. They're like Bahamut's super
Yeah.
paladins. They get some pretty cool stuff though, not least of which is just piles of gold every level. And I kid you not, it's like your class level times 10,000 gold just appears in front of you every time you level up. Straight from Bahamut's Horde is, I think, how they worded it. Or gold gems, whatever, amounting to that. Of course, you were like expected to use it for positive purposes, and it said specifically upgrading your gear was in the service of Bahamut was a positive purpose.
Well, there's one here that looks pretty good. The Dispassionate Watcher of Chronepsis.
Yeah, I've seen it before, don't remember it exactly.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm out.
Yeah. Later, man.
Later.
And
That's
if anybody
probably
in the
gonna call it a
campaign
night.
ends up dying, fear not. I now have gentle repose. I will drag you to the nearest person that can resurrect you.
Excellent stuff.
Oh yeah, and you were Reggie. You were talking about like true resurrection earlier.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
that
a
is-
20th level shit.
Yeah, and that's not the only means of raising someone from the dead. Like raised dead. There's
Yeah.
a 5th level. Then there's Revivify, which is kind of a newer one. It's like a 4th level, but it's got a very short time to cast it.
Yeah.
There's like another option
even in the-
too, I think.
Yeah, even in the healer's full section, besides True Resurrection, it also has New Life as a 20th level healer. I can regrow limbs for people at
Wow.
15th level.
That's crazy.
Well, sorry.
7th level spell is just straight up resurrection, and then
Yeah.
mass cure critical wounds.
Now
All
this.
of those are just emulating or are straight up spells.
Yeah.
Like Mass Cure Critical Wounds, that's like an 8th or 9th level spell. But it's like one person per caster heals like 3d8 plus your caster level plus whatever you have as a healer bonus.
Yeah.
So you could be looking at like 3d8 plus 20 something to like 15 to 20 people.
Damn it! The Dispassionate Watcher is for divine casting. Shit. This has to be arcane.
Yeah, that might be an issue with that book. Well, I mean, you could easily adapt it to be an arcane if you want.
Hmm.
What about like Dragonfire Adept? Is that an option? I'm remembering that name from somewhere.
Dragon. No, it's not on here. Dragon Ascendant.
I think that's specifically for like actual dragons.
Hmm. You know, she might do, Stewie might do Dragon Song Lyricist. Because then, you know, it gets greater dragon song and +1 levels of existing class, so just go up wizard and this at the same time. And it's only, the +1 levels are only like one every other, but I'm going to make it every. Just change it that little bit. That's part of the the pure blood, because that's kind of like, it's sort of like you know, the bard wizard that was his master, and now she'll be able to use her dragon blood and the dragon song to be a better wizard, you know, with her,
Okay,
her racial ability.
Just as a thing, like if it's related to dragons or dragon blood or
Mhm.
dragon mag, blah blah, it's
Yeah.
typically a sorcerer thing.
I think it
Like,
said just the ability to cast second level spells.
hmm,
Well, this one is about, let's see, cannot cast spells. Spellcasting class before she added the prestige class.
what's the spell casting prerequisite? That's usually the thing. It'll say like able to cast second
I
level
know, it
arcane
doesn't say
spells
that on
without
this one.
preparation.
Yeah, it
Or
doesn't say
something like
that.
Uh,
It's weird. It's not on here.
huh.
It has it has to
Okay.
have
Yeah.
the Dragon Song feat, Knowledge Arcana, 5 ranks.
Hold.
So-
That's the ticket right there. Dragon Song. There's something specific about that.
Yeah, well, Mary's going to teach her.
Yeah.
That's something you have to be probably taught by another dragon.
Dragon
it's-
Song. General
It's a vocal
feat.
performance. Yeah.
Yeah. Knowledge Arcana perform. Speak language.
But hers will be a, like, more than +2. And, you know, it's just... Because the thing about kobolds is they, especially one as old as Stuart was that was being mistreated, they really don't forget someone that's mistreated them like that. And they would find it's, you know, ironic and kind of vengeful. And get a
Yeah.
lot of pleasure out of it. You know, the only thing that would make it better is if TK was a gnome.
Are you talking about Dragon? Is that the... Well,
Sorry, my headset screwed up. Say what?
are you talking about Dragon Song Lyricist?
Yep.
Okay. That's totally a Bard Prestige class. Like, it doesn't outright require, ooh. Yeah, it doesn't outright require Bard, as in, like, you have to have Bardic music or anything like that.
Well,
But
see,
the
the thing is-
skills and the
Yeah.
nature of the class.
The thing is, like, while Rawl, who is an actual bard, is up there in the fancy wizard school, you know, turning his nose up at all the classes that Stewie would have loved to listen in on. You know, he was down there singing to himself, gathering firewood, and horses, singing songs to animals. He's been doing that. You know, for a while he looked up to Rawl. He wanted to be a part. to. At this point, it's just kind of bittersweet and ironic that, to use the Dragon Song to become a greater bard and magic his master. It's something a kobold would, like I said, the only thing that would make it better is if all had, that would just make it the sweetest thing ever. Kobolds love revenge. They never forget their history. Also another part of their history. Or yeah, they're interesting little critters. A5 turned me on to a few YouTube channels that had some decent background and history on lore of monsters. Kobolds are monsters. But yeah, all these weird little things on Elden Ring, like on bats or something. They're strange, little ugly little mythical creatures, but they have the most beautiful voice. They kind of draw you in with that voice. Like, man, what is that? Really? That's what's making that? It's gonna be
Yeah.
It's gonna be stupid. This ugly little crocodile face. Almost like, I think of it as kind of like a tiny little T-Rex face. You know? The jaws and the facial structure. Just like a little T-Rex.
Usually more like an alligator's.
I know. I don't like that version. That's what
Huh.
that's what all of these kobolds were. I was gonna make that distinction when I described them, but I forgot to. All the kobolds that you guys saw had the flat alligator noses, whereas hers was more like a T-Rex. Just different breeds of kobold. Remember, she may or may not be from here. Like the roots were cracking the plains 20 years ago. It's just nobody knew. Everyone's only just now realizing the fallout of what she's done here. So I'm kind of excited for the arcs of the help. Weren't we gonna call them the help? Like, I want to see them grow and become more than they are. At some point, they'll have to have like voices. Ugh. Both of them are under the archetype of, they're under the Pinocchio archetype. Each one of them needs to, in some way or another, save their father from the belly of the whale and become a real boy. As any little helper, long-term support character is, that's what they need to do. They have to eventually stand on their own 2 feet, become greater than their master. So it's exciting to set that up and even get it like accomplished a little early. It's nice. So I know you don't have like a strong connection to Hansbach, but if it's not about having a strong connection to him. If you hate demons, you know, like enemy of my enemy kind of thing, like that might be a way. That was his favorite enemy, I think, towards the end. He just had to deal with him so much.
Nah, if anything,
Yeah.
like might take a little bit of a specialization toward undead, but that's largely just going to be to keep options open for me because, like, I can't use my psychic strike for my mind blade against an undead without taking this class. The thing
And the negative
psychic-
energy from the vampiric touch would heal them.
Yeah. But
You would get nothing from it. It would heal them. It would just be a 1d6 plus your level points of health for the undead.
no. If I do take one of the classes I was thinking of taking, the Mind Blade will actually be like permanently imbued with Undead Bane. Just as a side effect, completely
Yeah.
independent from everything else.
So, but that's
It's
but is
Undead
that
Bane.
before or after you get the ability to put Bane on at any time? Well, an hour before combat
after.
if it's fast. After.
No matter
Okay.
how it turns out, completely
Yeah.
after.
It's gobbling all the time right now at this point. So you could actually like go a completely separate direction, turn your character into a ranger favorite enemy goblin, you know, and be set, you know, for a whole different direction for the character. Go on a
Yeah,
goblin
but why
hunting
would I want to
crusade.
do that when I've
I'm just saying.
effectively
Yeah.
got-
No. I'm just saying there are options in front of you that look good. You know, so
Yeah.
you have a bunch
Okay, I
of
see.
different ways.
I can emulate the ability of a ranger, basically, as far as combat. Like
You you can take this character in so many different ways. It's just pretty cool. You have a lot of options at your disposal. You could go on the path of a ranger. You could stay doing this and then get Bane for real. Be able to. But so you're saying whatever you put it to with your Bane enchantment, once you get it, it will have an additional undead Bane that functions at the same time.
Correct.
Can you do double? Does it stack?
You could do two Bane abilities.
Oh, two
but they have
undeads.
to be different. Yeah, they wouldn't. You couldn't do undead times two. They wouldn't stack.
Well, I mean, if it's a
Or
different
I'd
type
say
of
they wouldn't
enchantment,
stack.
like the
But,
one.
well, that's
See?
where
What are we
something
talking
like
about?
holy comes in. It's like a holy undead, undead Bane.
And see, you'd have
It's like
to
that's
figure.
plus 2 more to the enhancement bonus,
Yeah.
and plus 2 more d6.
This is where Mythweavers comes in handy because it lets you have your different attacks with different combos with your different mods. Because if you're fighting undead, you obviously vampiric touch is out of the question. So you take that off completely. But then when you're fighting a regular person, you wouldn't want to use holy. You know? So it's like different
Yeah.
things assigned.
Yeah, and I'm for the most part gonna try and keep a relatively like universally useful, like keen for my mind blade when I unlock the ability to like actually do the enchantments and shit. So I'm gonna have keen on it. That's just a thing. But if we're going into a undead dungeon, or it's like, oh, we want to deal with these orcs or goblins or whatever, Yeah, I might change to Bane or something like that. There's all kinds of good choices. I could make it flaming or any of the other elemental. Hell, if I, that's one thing I've considered, just stacking on effects onto my Mind Blade, Pyrokineticist. If I decide to take it up to like third
Yeah,
or fourth
I
level,
think it's
whenever
fourth
you
Weapon
get
of
Weapon
Flame.
of Fire.
Yeah. Well, Weapon of Flame is second level, and then the upgraded version of that's like fourth.
Yeah, we might have
think.
changed it because it's different. I
Okay.
was looking at it like last week, I think. But
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
but yeah, have flaming, undead, bane, whatever, all on top of the sheer damage that I already do, plus a psychic strike. It's like if with the perfect setup, it's like my sword, my mind blade, yeah, could be considered like a +6 or +7 weapon against the right enemy. And if we've got time to set it up,
Damn.
it's like that's completely feasible for me to do it. It's like, oh, at this point, yeah, I'm a good character, so I'll just make my sword holy on top of it already being Undead Bane. And then I'll throw this on there, and it's flaming now for 56. And
So,
psychic strikes with Mind Cleave and Cleave and
so what kind of
Yeah.
a thing? What kind of a thing would you be trying to get then from the king? You got so much for your weapon. Steven had a smart request for the large bag of holding. You know, and I know which one he's talking about too. He means like the big durable one made from Giant.
yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what he's talking about. That's a very
Yeah.
specific request that can be met. That's what it needs to be. Very specific that is not like combat ridiculous. Just useful stuff. It can be powerful. It needs to be specific. Not combat ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of it.
As far as like specific items, I don't really have any.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that could help you. And remember what Ender said. There is no combat without movement. Look at what Spinal did today.
Oh yeah, his sword is pretty nice. Just a swift action teleport 30
Mhm.
feet.
Just a dimension door is so powerful in the right circumstances.
Yeah.
And somebody got the headmaster's ring. I think it's Reggie, but I think he forgot that he had it. He was gonna sell it, so
Yeah.
I forced him to keep it on his finger to try and like drive home that no, this is an important ring. It's an artifact now. You're not gonna sell it.
Yeah, Reggie picked that
He
up
forgot about
after
it.
TK threw it away.
Yeah, he forgot about it. That thing's thirsty, man. I'm considering that some of these artifacts may wither and die if not fed properly. If not exercised, they won't grow. They come from the tree. They need to grow. They need nutrients.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
You've pointed out the like eagerness for blood
Mhm.
a couple of times, kinda, but I don't know. I don't know if we've like made the connection yet that that's what's making
Well,
them more
as-
powerful and what
As they're getting
specific things.
Yeah, as they reach level 2 and 3, it's like you intuitively know. No one has to tell you. Almost like Luke knew Leia was his sister. It's like, you just feel it.
Hmm.
And then when you see the blood being sucked up into it, you know. It's like every one of you are at least intelligent or wise enough to catch on at something. Nobody here is completely deprived of one or both of those things. Or, both of them. What am I trying to say? You understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, there's so many things you could do. For Steven's second item, hell, I would almost suggest asking if that shield can be enchanted for you, because it's special. And
Yeah, that'd be nice.
and you'd have to argue with him too, because they'd be like, "What? This piece of shit looks awful. It hasn't even been to a proper blacksmith. It looks like somebody just hammered out a chunk of ore. Where did you get this? It fall out of the sky?" You'd probably say it as a joke, because it looks like it's just a big chunk of metal that fell from a great height and got smashed into a flat shape. That's really what it resembles. Like a fucking pog or something. Poker chip. So fucking thick, ugly cylinder with cracks all in it and shit. Like, and he, come to think of it, like if that does end up being the case with the dialogue, like you possibly could ask him to forge it into a decent shield for you, to be able to hold properly, throw if need be, and maybe even enchant
Yeah.
it, like enchant it with returning so it would come back to your hand. Say this piece of metal is special, more special. Imagine, just reforge it, but don't mess with it. Add to the alloy, don't try and make it stronger. Just leave it star metal. It's a star metal artifact. It may or may not have some kind of hidden magical ability. It really supposedly didn't have one to begin with. It was just supposed to be +1 magical shield that happened to be of ugly Promethean. Right, Eric? I mean, that's all we had originally decided on. It was just a strong,
Yeah.
ugly shield made of Promethean that you had picked up as you were going along somewhere. Like before he even got to my campaign. It's in his character history or something. Brought that in.
Well,
We were talking about that. I was like, oh, so it's nothing out of my world. So I'm not responsible for it. Perfect. Then it can be something cool. Oh no, that was brought in. So is there anything you're trying to gain access to early that we can like if you're gonna go ahead and get something basically like Bane, I don't like let it be for goblins for right now. And then, I mean, if later
Yeah.
you add undead to it, is that from the same class, or is it just a different thing?
Okay. The basic enchanting of the Mind Blade and everything is just part of the basic class. The other prestige class, Illumined Soul, that's the class that gives you the permanent undead bane.
Oh, okay.
And
Why don't you take
that
the
is
Goblin
just,
Bane as it is right now, having unlocked it early, and go ahead and switch to the other one, and have Goblin and Undead always on this thing.
So the Goblin Bane is a permanent thing?
As of now,
Okay.
it's stuck in that gear early.
Okay.
And if you went and got the regular Bane, then you could change it. But right now, it's permanently stuck on Goblin at an early point, and you shouldn't even have it. So you could take that and run with it. That's kind of what I was saying. You could switch over to Ranger right now, make Goblin favorite enemy.
Oh, hey, I just thought about it. You told me to upgrade the sword to +2. Just make it a make the artifact effect or whatever +1 Goblin Bane. So that'll be, it's always a Goblin Bane. I've got a +1 weapon, but it counts as a +3 when fighting goblins and blah blah blah. And then, yeah, when I pick up Undead Bane,
Let me think about it.
I'll have that on there too.
Well, because if the artifact had that on it, then the artifact would need to steadily upgrade to things, other things, and pick them up as it went along. Like it would have to supply you with the undead bane. There'd be a progression there involved.
Well, no, the Undead Bane is going to come from a class that I'm going to take.
Yeah, but the artifact abilities, that's the the vampiric touch, which is going to turn into. Damn, I had a progression in mind. Fuck, I have to look it back up. But I have a progression in mind for that. That's the artifact ability as it stands right now, is that vampiric touch. And you have used it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to retcon that, because it was part of that glorious kill with the Goblin King, where you were flying through the air with a charge. Yeah, so I don't know. I know what I have in mind
But-
for the progression of the
Yeah.
artifact abilities, but if
But
you're not
on-
happy with it, we can always
And on
compromise.
the vampiric thing, like that wasn't important in anything that actually happened. Like I just used that to try and mitigate the damage that I took charging.
It's
It
just
seemed
meant
to be
to
kind of where
be-
you were leading me, so it's like,
well,
yeah, I'll use that.
It's meant to be something juxtaposing the natural personality of your character. For a murder hobo, I give him something that to exercise it, he has to pick one of the people that he's killed and bring them back. You know, for the person who's a guy of law, who usually doesn't do anything, like doesn't hurt anyone just for no reason. It's like vampiric touch. So it's like you have to go out of your way to exercise this. You got to go find somebody that deserves it. It's like this is an actual exercising. Like I chose these things with intention, you know. It's like I thought about you and your character and your demeanor, like what you might have to go out of your way or what you might have to put consideration into to actually use and exercise, you know. So for the murder hobo, restraint. For the guy who's usually restrained, you know, vampirism, sort of. Does that make sense? Like, it made sense to me at the time. I'm tired now. I'm like, is that dumb?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's just time to call it.
It's fucking 5:20. Good God. What are we doing? What are we doing with our lives, gentlemen?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do
I don't know.
right now.
Good times, though. Good game.
Yeah. Later, yeah.
Later.
Hey, Eric, I want to send you a picture of a new sword that I have.
Of his bowls. So, Steven, are you cool with being partially orc?
I guess.
It's like, yeah, but not really. It's like, but I get a strength bonus and shit like that, so yeah.
I mean, the people that were hunting you,
That's
you just-
kind of the reason I got a bump.
the way I was thinking about it,
7 hours.
it just fit so many. It really fit the bill on a lot of different ways, and the people who are hunting him might not even recognize him. To be honest, they would see the orc blood in him first,
Yeah.
and he wouldn't be scared. Immediately, they just disregard him as the person that. That's not our guy. Doesn't look like him. Doesn't act like him. Like the hair's similar. That's odd. The hair's kind of similar. But otherwise, it's not our guy.
Okay. If they even got that far. It's
Yeah.
like, look, it's a big dude. Oh, it's an orc. Or a half orc. It's not
Yeah.
our target.
Yeah. So useful to come, and like most things in my game, big change that usually there's a way to come back from, but while you're the monster, use it to your advantage. Be the monster for good, find restraint, and when it's time to not restrain yourself anymore, it's like Roadhouse, be nice until it's time to not be nice. That's one of the best lines, in my opinion, of the hero, what the hero needs to be. Is that you, 2-5? Is that your guy? He's a nice guy
But
until it's time to not be nice.
to not be nice.
Yeah. That kind of defines your character. That's the good man of the wall. Puts his foot down. Even if technically he's not supposed to. Fuck your rules. That's wrong. I'm not gonna let you do that.
Hmm. Yeah, kinda. Like, I always have the good tendencies in my characters, unless I'm just
Yeah.
purposely trying to play an asshole.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we're basically kind of playing the heroes.
I've always felt that way.
We want to be the good guys.
Yeah, I like being the hero. We have had evil campaigns. I did play Stagger
And they
League.
never last long.
Yeah.
Stagger League was... that was in Drew's campaign.
Yeah, that was like all homoerotic and strange, sexually charged,
Yeah,
and
super weird.
It was very weird. Anyway, he ended up drawing from the deck of things over and over and over until he eventually became partially a dragon and moved into a cave. Oh my god, I'm putting him in this campaign.
Yeah.
He's somewhere out there.
You started describing it, it's like, yeah.
Well, I kind of have to now, don't I? We've gotten balls deep into dragon lore. Stagger Lee was one of my first characters. Yes, he technically became a dragon and moved off on his own, left the campaign. He got upset at being turned into a dragon. It just left. And nobody ever saw him again, and that was Stagger Lee.
If it actually turned him into a dragon, that gave him all kinds of power.
Well, it made him dragonkin at a decently high level, but he was kind of butthurt about it, and he just walked off. 20 years IRL. That means at this point, like he's become a full-fledged dragon, probably decently powerful.
Or at least,
I mean, he's a real dragon. He made it. He didn't want to. He's probably still pretty butthurt about it, to be honest. But, he did some awful things. He probably deserves it.
yeah, but if he's got all of his levels on top of the template of being a fucking whatever dragon, do you
Yeah,
remember
but
what
you-
color, what
yeah, but
type of dragon?
Gold.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Yeah. I don't know if that's... I'm guessing that's good by your reaction. But yeah, it was gold.
Hey. Yeah, like gold dragons are the most powerful. I believe. Well,
Yeah, you know what, Eric?
the
He
most
might
powerful
be
standard good
extremely
dragon.
powerful, but you're underestimating the levels of butthurt that were present here. Okay, he sulked his golden swishing tail into a cave and sat there for the next 100 years, mad. And then he left the crystal
probably
sphere.
took all that time learning how to use his natural spell-like abilities and
What?
shit like that.
Learning how to masturbate with his tail. It's Stagger Lee. Like he went sulking into a cave with his
I mean,
dragon
go
body.
find some
and-
hot piece of female
Oh,
dragon.
he probably did. Probably did that for a little while, but yeah, I'm thinking he left the crystal sphere, and why not end up in a place like this? As one of my original characters, I think he should be here somewhere. He should be represented. Going into dragon lore. He's not as old as Mary, obviously. He's like, he would be, in this place, he would be like Acnologia. He's the human who resentfully became the dragon and started hunting them or something.
Well, yeah,
Resentful,
the way I would do this. How old was Stagger Lee?
I mean, he was 20s like we were. I mean, we were 20. He was
Okay.
20.
So that puts him into the adult category in D&D terms. Just take an adult.
All our
gold dragon.
characters were just out of their teens. Because
Yeah.
we were.
Just take an adult dragon, its physical statistics, and hell, the mental statistics too, probably because they were probably better than Stagger Lee's. I almost guarantee it. Yeah, just take an adult dragon, an adult gold dragon, and throw on Stagger Lee's character levels, and holy
God,
shit,
what
that's
did he do?
a ridiculous.
Yeah, he
Fuck
was.
if I know, dude.
hmm.
That was like, y'all were kinda ending that when I started playing. Like, I didn't play much with you as Stagger Lee. I can't remember why. Wasn't he a bard? Didn't he have that battle flute?
No, that was Mobius Axiom. No, Cherubalian. My first character ever with you
Nope.
guys. And he wrote the book called The Mobius Axiom. Because you remember Drew put me in a room full of psionics where they were teaching a class, and I was the teacher. I had all the knowledge of a 20th level psion, and they tried to eat me. So I
Nope.
picked up a creature and threw it at all the illithids that were coming after me. And then I came back with all the knowledge of a 20th level psionic, but it started to go away. So I wrote this incomprehensible book called The Mobius Axiom, starting with the 20th level stuff, which was like just crazy high level ramblings, and then it went backwards into things that were more understandable. I had that in game and would make reference to it. Like, I was all into that character, man. Cherubalian. Fuck, am I gonna have to? I guess I'll import all my old characters and make them people. Why not, right? They all had so much history and personality and backstory, even for just throwaway characters like Cherubalian, Stagger Lee. There was a lot of flair to who they were.
Yeah.
Like, weren't you Walker Bow?
Yeah. Wait. No. No. My first character was Cyrus the Monk.
Was he? He was with Piper.
No.
No? Who was your bard
No.
character?
Deanna Ray.
Oh. And what'd she do for
My
the band?
elfin. She was a bard sorceress.
Yeah, but what'd she play though? On stage? It was a band. We all had our place. No, no, you didn't. You can't leave me hanging like this. Ah, you bastard. Let me get these details down. So I forgot all about this. So, Civ Larson and Civil Arsony was a touring band going through the kingdoms. Oh my God, Civ Larson is gonna be the one who knocked up the sister. No, not. No. He's gonna be the one who gave the cursed blade. No. Wait a second. I gotta get my story right. He's way too epic for that. Taking him out of that.